Hi, I'm Dr. Dunn. I'd like to talk about some talking points for Eldercare channel and a very important topic. And chances are, if you're approaching your 50s or if you're in your 40s, you might have a parent maybe in their late 60s or 70s who might be at risk for requiring eventual long-term care. But if you're like me, you probably delay any thoughts about even imagining that they might need long-term care in the future until maybe one day one of your parents starts becoming more and more dependent on your mother or father. So I wanted to talk about this slide that I made where the top line here you can see is the age, a typical age of a parent versus the age of an adult child. For example, at the age of 25, your parents might be in their 50s. Likewise, if you're in your 30s, they might be approaching their 60s and so on. And so, at what point should we talk about long term care? Well, more or less, if you talk about, uh, if you go backwards and say your parents are in their 80s, that means you're in your 50s. It might be a little late to talk about that, but your parents could actually get ready for retirement in general, including long term care, all the way back in their 40s or 50s. At which point, starting to talk about long-term care is should be done slowly, but definitely at this in this period right here in their 60s, um, where they start thinking about Social Security and Medicare. Um, and in Eldercare channel, you'll see these topics are covered in more detail. But definitely in this time period here in your 60s is, I think, an ideal point where talking about long-term care is appropriate. You don't want to wait until they're much older and already ready for even nursing home care instead. So you'll need a long-term care plan, and without that, you might reach a crisis moment like my parents ran into. And I'd like to point out that based on demographics the baby boomers have, it won't be Medicare or Social Security. Rather, long-term care will be our country's critical challenge in the next decades to come. And as it stands now, more than half of everyone over 85 is already receiving long-term care. And as medicine and lifestyles improve, our our lifespan is just going to get longer. Long-term care is just going to get more expensive too. Uh, the total costs run around $250,000 for 3 years. Home care is at $22 an hour on the average around the country, and assisted living is around $3,000 a month around the country as well. So how can you prepare? Well, whenever your parents, when they, like I said, when they reach their mid 50s, is the best time to start talking about that. And you can even start with lighthearted chats. And being at the tail of the boomer generation like me, I often joke around with my kids that they can even adopt me in my old age, but that's not the solution. And actually, in my case, I wouldn't mind that they they take me into their family. Actually, my parents took my grandparents into our home. So, but the times are changing though. And just to provide a rough idea of what choices you might have, I made a table here for you to look at where you take the type of family care that your parents might need will depend on the number of activities of daily living they'll need assistance with. Um, where at least one here, 1 to 2 here, three here, and the typical cost of the type of facility or care that they'll need. For example, if your parents need 1 to 2 activities of daily living assistance, they might need independent living. Um, where no health services are provided, and it could be around $1,700 a month. That's a good chart, and you can find this in Eldercare channel. So if you're absolutely sure you don't want your parents living in your home, um, and you'd like to take care of them yourself, or even consider building an in-law suite for them, um, home care might be the next step for you as well. So questions you might ask: do your parents have the savings for assisted living? On the other hand, do you feel they could qualify for Medicaid even? Are your parents already in poor health, though they're pretty young? You might think of this a lot earlier then. Would long-term care insurance be affordable for your parents at this time? Would your parents really prefer keeping their home instead of moving into an assisted living facility? Could someone at home make adjustments to make it safer for them? And is remote care a possibility? These are some things that you should think about. So I'd like to thank you for our first video at Eldercare channel. And I think it's an exciting time. A lot of changes are happening for Eldercare, and a lot more choices are available. Um, and like I said, the cost of Eldercare is going up and up. So it's really important to, despite all these exciting changes that are occurring, we have to be prepared for them. Thank you.